Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Bookkeeper Less Love. So today we have Esther, the founder of Women's Word Conference. So Esther.
Hey everyone.
So today we basically wanted to talk about gratefulness and contentment. This is something that we feel that is really important because currently we need to learn how to be grateful, and we need to learn how to be content, and just about appreciating the little of what we have. So in essence, contentment is kind of appreciating what you have. Gratefulness is also that gratitude and that satisfaction in between the both of them in what you basically have as well. So Esther, what do you feel about gratefulness?
I think gratefulness to me is something that you already have and you appreciate it. So it could be a job, it could be a car, it could be clothing, it could be anything that someone gives to you from their heart.
Definitely.
I believe gratefulness is also thanking God for life. I know sometimes it's very easy to complain about not having that job or not having that degree, but for the fact that you've got life is a blessing. And I believe that, you know, when you wake up every day, it should be an opportunity for you to say, God, you know what? I thank you for my life. I may not have that job, but I thank you. I may not have that partner, but I thank you. I may not have that career, but I thank you. That's my own opinion of gratefulness.
I think with contentment, it's kind of like a process. You know, I think I was reading something and it says, you know, contentment is that grace to grow. Grace to grow in essence of, especially you being a Christian, you know, contentment doesn't come easily. It doesn't come quickly. It comes with a process. It comes in you being able to appreciate the little that you have, and when God can see that you appreciate that little, then that is when more will come. In 1 Timothy 6:6, that's where it says godliness with contentment is great gain. It says great gain. It doesn't just say gain, but great gain. So it's kind of like when God can see that you are content, wow, a great gain will come from it. But when he sees that you're not, then it's kind of like the opposite of not being content is being greedy. And what does that mean to you, Esther?
I remember reading James chapter 4 verse 2 where it says you always covet what your neighbor has. So in other words, you're envying what someone else has when you don't realize what you've got is special as well. And it says you do not receive because you don't ask. So who am I to envy what someone has? You know, for example, I take, let's say, jobs for example. You know that you've graduated a few years ago. The person that graduated just a year ago has got a job before you. It doesn't mean that you should envy that person that has a job before you. Why? Because you don't know what they had to go through in order to get that job. You, on the other hand, that has been waiting or is currently waiting for a job, at least God has sustained you financially. You may have a part-time retail job. You may be, you know, working for someone else and that person's paying you. But how about that person that hasn't had anything to do financially? You know, they're not getting any support. They don't have a social life. They've been idle. You know, and that's one thing that I've realized, that, you know, when God gives you something, you have to cherish it. It's not about looking at what your neighbor has in order for you to be happy with what you've got. Sometimes I do believe that God will remind you of the things that he's done for you in order for you to be grateful, and not only that, to humble yourself. You know, when it comes to gratefulness and contentment, it's about humility. It's about being thankful for what you have. As Bookie rightly says in 1 Timothy 6 verse 6, it does say that godliness and contentment is great gain, and she emphasized on the word great. So it's not just gain, it's great gain. It's something that must be, you know, adhered to every day. It's not when you wake up, you know, you just get that job, oh God, I'm making 2,500 a month, but are you grateful for it? There are some people out there who don't have anything, you know, and it touches my heart to even see that. For example, even people that are in other countries such as, you know, Nigeria and all these other countries that they're beheading Christians, you know, for what reason, I don't know why. But at the end of the day, we always have to be grateful for what we have. There are so many people out there that would really want a life like we have. You know, even if it's to wake up every day, you know, go to work, have a bed to sleep in every night, come back, you know, you're going out to work, you're coming back safely. It is a blessing in itself. So let's think about that before we, you know, judge others and feel like, oh, they're being blessed more than us, because really God is not a respecter of man. He will never bless one more than the other. I was even telling my friend at university recently that you know, maybe I may get a car before her, but then she may get married before me. I'm just saying, I don't know. But it's true, you know, sometimes what someone else wants, that's what they want from you, and what you want from someone else they've got it. But it doesn't mean that God doesn't love you. So you may be waiting in line for marriage, you may be waiting in line for a career, you may be waiting in line for a car, but realize that God doesn't measure these things based on what you want. So you need to realize that God's timing is not your timing. And when you continue to push God and say, God, when am I going to get it? When am I going to get it? Your faith will literally crumble because you're forcing God to do something in your timing. And you must bear in mind that your deadline is not God's deadline.
Exactly.
Your power is not God's power.
Exactly.
You need to remember that, because if not, then that's where ungratefulness will come in and, eventually envy, and that's not what we want, do we?
To add to what Esther said on the fact of gratefulness, I think the simple things, we always kind of ignore them, but it's simple things that we have to really, really appreciate God for, about waking up in the morning and being able to have a new day. As Esther rightly said, right now in all countries, different types of countries, there's a lot of things going on, especially like with Christians as well, where they're beheading like Christians and even non-Christians as well, and for maybe homosexualities and things like that. And it's a case of, I'm here and I'm alive and I'm safe, I'm going out, I'm coming in. Safety of going out and coming in is a blessing, because a lot of people go out and reality wise they don't get back to their house. And that's not even to say that they didn't deserve not to be able to go out and come home safely, but it's just something went wrong and they're not back home. And they went out, they were perfectly fine, and the next thing you know, they end up missing. And it's like, wow, but I'm here and I'm able to basically go out, come in safely. Thank you, Lord.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord. Because
grateful.
The reality of it is that you need to be grateful. The reality of it is that is something little, but that is something precious.
Yes.
Precious, because life is precious in itself. Life is precious because, do you know what I'm saying? Like, me being here is like, I was saying to Esther earlier on that I feel that's purpose speaking. That for me to be able to wake up day by day, that's purpose. For God to be able to add another year into your life every year, that is blessing, that is purpose. That, do you know what, you have something to live for, you have something that he wants to use you for, you have something that he wants to take you to a place that you never even thought that you would get there, but because you have purpose, he's giving you life, he's giving you air to breathe for another day for you to keep going. When Esther talks about the fact about looking to people and almost wanting to envy them, we have to understand that we shouldn't envy others, and that's something that is not easy, but the reality of it is that as a Christian, we have to ask God to help us in those areas, that we shouldn't envy, but actually we should rejoice with people in their time of happiness. We should rejoice with them in their time of joy. And even when people are mourning, we should also be there to help them through that process. We shouldn't be there to to kind of look down and be like happy when people are sad. That is not the way. That is not a good heart. But we should be there to always be glad for people, even if you're not close by, but always reach out, be able to look to that person and feel happiness for them, and not have anything that is evil or bad over that person. Because the reality of it is that when you're able to rejoice and be joyful for somebody else, that is when your joy will come, that is when your happiness will come. And joy is something that is such a beautiful thing. Happiness is such a beautiful thing, because when you're happy for others, you yourself can be happy. Your happiness can also come.
You're even at peace as well, because when you rejoice with someone that's being blessed, that one day when that blessing comes back to you, you would also want people to rejoice with you.
Exactly.
You don't wait until God blesses you with something before you be happy. You should start being happy now. I remember I was listening to a sermon by my third daddy, TD Jakes. Shout out to TD Jakes. And he was talking about the fact that sometimes we say we're waiting on God to move, but God is actually waiting on us to move. So it's funny how we think God should work according to our schedule, but really God is saying, when you do your part, I will do my bit. There's a saying that goes, if you do your best, I will do the rest, and that is God speaking. Sometimes we need to realize that it's not just about praying to God for something. We also need to make a move. It could be looking for jobs. I always emphasize on jobs, but it's true. Download that application, fill it out, and send it off to that company. You don't say, okay, God, when they start picking people, when they start recruiting more, I'll start applying. You must start now. Even if you can call up the company, it makes a difference. I don't usually call up companies when I apply for jobs. I tend to just apply by email. But now I've realised, you know what? Take another approach. Take another method. You will see what God will do for you.
You know, to add to what Esther said on about also contentment and in that area of things, is that when you're looking at people and you're saying, oh, I want what they have you done half of what they've done to get to where they are? Do you know the journey, the process, what they had to do to get the job that they're in? Do you know how easy it was or how not easy it was before they got to that place? Sometimes we need to be careful about saying, do you know what, I want what somebody has, because you don't know whether they got there by, how would you say, they got there the right way or they got there the wrong way.
Right.
So because sometimes we end up putting ourselves in trouble because we're like, oh, I want to get there, and meanwhile that person didn't get there by the right way. They got there by the wrong way, and you're like, you want what they want, and then you get there and you're like, ooh, I wish I just had waited for my time. I wish I just waited on my process. And then you get there and you're happy with your journey and how you got there, because the reality of life is that we have to look to our journey. I think it's really not an easy thing, but it's something that by the grace of God we learn and we're able to grow in, about being able to appreciate our own journey for our own self. You look at other people's journey, appreciate their journey. Yes, ask questions. How did you get there? What did you do that I can be able to maybe learn from, to be able to build on that journey? But the reality of it is that your journey to their journey is not the same. You have somewhere that God is taking you, they have somewhere that God is taking them. I always say something about the journey of getting to a destination is always most of the time the same, but the journey will always be different. We all want to get to a set destination which is kind of similar in essence of, oh, I want to get to that end, I want to be a winner, I want to be victorious, I want to be able to be successful, I want to be able to be stable, I want to be able to be happy and have a husband and children and everything. But do you know what the person did before they got to that journey? People who are entrepreneurs, people who are leaders of society today, do you know the work that they did before they became presidents, before they became governors, before they became prime ministers? They had to put in some work, they had to put in some effort, they had to put in some research before they got there. When Esther is talking about jobs, I feel like it's such a beautiful thing, because we are kind of talking about where we're at currently in our lives, and that's to say that everyone is in a different part in their life. We're in an area of our lives whereby, yes, that job that we want, or that dream job that we want, we're still trying to search for it, but also we're still trying to also find happiness at where we're at, because the reality of it is that we know that this process that we're in is an experience. We know that this process that we're in is going to build us to where we want to get to, and we're not also sleeping on the bicycle. No, we're making sure that we put in the work that we need to do, but we're also making sure that we're content. We're also making sure that we find happiness in where we're at, because that is when your blessing will come. That is when you trust God fully and always, He will do what He says He will do.
Amen. Amen. Wow, that is very powerful. And I think the truth of the matter is that when it comes to your journey, take it as a blessing. Don't just wait until you arrive at your destination for you to enjoy, but make sure that you enjoy the process of the journey. I think sometimes in life we always feel very weighed down about how long it is, or when we're going to get that job, or when we're going to get that car, or when we're going to get that But all I can say is that you have to really enjoy the process. Life isn't just about getting what you want when you want it, but it's about ensuring that what you have now, you are using it to the best of your ability. As Bookie rightly said, it's easy to envy someone, but you don't know the pain, you don't know the inner feeling that they have, to where they've got to where they are now. It's not just about, looking at them and thinking, oh, she always have everything. Every time she comes to church on Sunday, different shoes, different weave. Really and truly speaking, maybe that person deserved it. You don't know what that person is going through behind closed doors,
and they might be looking you that wants to have what they have. They might be looking to you that they want what you have. They might be looking to you that, oh my goodness, you have such a beautiful family, I want your family. Yes, in life they might have the possessions of things, of, oh, they've got the material stuff, like Esther rightly said, they've got the shoes, they've got the bag every Sunday, or when you see them at work, it's like new Gucci, new Christian Louis Vuitton. I don't know, but they might might be looking to something simple about who you are and admire that and want to have that, but they don't have that, and you're looking to them. And it's a case of coming together and saying, do you know what? Yes, I appreciate this about you, and you appreciate something about them, and you guys can even help each other to build up. Envy never does anything. It only makes
it bitter.
Yeah, it only makes
you bitter because not only that, it makes you look like the bad one. Everyone wants to be notified as the good one. Oh, I'm a good friend, I'm a good wife, but deep down in your heart, you know your own motives, and God is seeing you. I'm not trying to sound harsh, but God sees what you do. You can either envy someone and think that you're really okay with them, but if you know you're not, be honest with the person. And that's where it comes down to humility and also being sensitive towards other people, because when someone is blessed, fair enough, you're going through your own darkness, but use it as an opportunity to congratulate them. Because the more that you support them with their blessing, one day will come back. They will say, you know what, because Esther helped me, I'm also going to help her. Remember Luke 6 verse 38, give and it shall also be given back unto you. It does not necessarily, it doesn't mean you have to give money. It could be advice, it could be love, it could be sharing your food with someone. You never know what one is going through. You need to learn how to be sensitive to other people, because when you're sensitive to other people, they will also do the same back to you. So when God blesses that person, they will be able to share that blessing with you. And come on, let's be real, it's like when you pass your driving test, you want to give that person a lift. You don't want to just think about yourself. You don't ask God, okay, God, give me a driving license for me. One of my friends that recently passed her test, she said to me that the only reason why she really desired to have her driving license was to help people and to drive them around. And up to now, she's doing that. And she's done that for me so much, even at uni and even up till now when I meet her. And God bless her. She knows who she is.
And that's a blessing, because really and truly, when you're able to bless others, when you least expect, your blessing will come. People will come out and bless you, and you think to yourself, where is this coming from? But God is looking to the fact that you have been doing something, and He's like, do you know what, this is my time for me to also say, do you know what, I'm going to give back onto you. And the way God gives back onto us when we bless other people is when we least expect. So do you know what, that's where there's a Bible verse that says, do not get tired of doing good.
Of course.
And I tell you, sometimes when a lot of evils and things are going wrong, you want to get tired of being that good person or doing good and doing the right thing. But let me tell you something, do not get tired, do not get weary in doing good. Do not give up in doing good, because in due time God will say, do you know what, my son, my daughter, do you know what, I'm going to bless you. So the reality of it is that I've got people in my life right now, I'm telling you, that I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful for, because these people are great leaders. These people are great men and great women who are able to lead me and who are able to encourage me, and because of them I'm better for it. I'm better for it because I'm becoming, by God's grace, I'm not where I need to be as of yet,
but thank God we're not where we used
to be. But backwards never. For them, I'm able to be a better woman, a better friend, a better sister, and that is a process that by His grace I'm continuing building on. So really and truly, do not get tired, do not get weary in doing good. Keep doing good, because in due time your blessings will come.
I know sometimes it does feel like a burden to help people, don't get me wrong, because there will be some people in your life that will take your help for granted. I remember I was in a position a few years ago where I had one friend and I felt like everything I'd done was a burden to her, but I knew my heart towards her. I knew that my heart was good towards her. But then I sat and God told me that, look, Esther, you need to understand your friends, that not every friend will be like you. There'll be friends who you want them to be the way you want them to be, but it won't always be the case. And with this person, I tried my best. I prayed, I fasted. There was even times where I wanted to even confront the issue, but I just thought, I think confrontation might make it a bit worse. So I thought, you know what, let me just leave it. But eventually I had to tell her, and when we did resolve it did actually make it better. So that's where God strengthened our friendship. And I believe that whatever you're going through, whether it's with friends or family members, be real with each other. And when that time of blessing comes, God will appreciate that and He will honor that for you.
You see, it's about gratitude as well. If you appreciate a friendship, it's a case of you want to make sure that you do everything you can. If there is a misunderstanding, you do everything you can to make sure that you sort that out. Because when you appreciate someone, you don't want to easily let that thing go if that person is worth fighting for. So it's kind of like you appreciate that person, so you're not going to let that thing go just like that.
Of course.
So you're going to sort it out, and that's where that build up of, you know, you appreciate each other, you love each other to the point that, you know, you're grateful for each other, and you just want the best for each other, to be honest.
Of course.
So yeah,
I think that's really important as well, is knowing that, you know, not saying that you shouldn't forget yourself and think about others,
definitely,
but be in a position where you can keep everything balanced and on one level. So there will be times where you will need to think about your own welfare, about
definitely,
where you are in life. But however, there are also times where you also need to think about your friends, you know, how are they doing, and your family as well. You know, how are they doing? Are they okay spiritually? You know, are they thinking right? You know, you have to make sure that they're not speaking negative, because negative words can come to life. You know, and that's one thing that one of the girls in my church service yesterday said. She said that, you know, as children of God, we need to make sure that our words are always positive, because whatever you declare upon your life, it's more likely to happen. If you say you're not happy for your friend, you're going to stay that way, and you will not see the blessings of God in your life.
You got to speak live.
You have to speak
You
live.
got to speak live. And I'm telling you, easier said than done, but the tongue is a powerful tool. You know, it has the depth and life in it. So it's a powerful tool when we speak out. And I think, you know, for each and every one of us, we have to kind of say, do you know what, Lord, help me in my speech, help me in the words that I speak, because really and truly there's life and death in it. And it's kind of like encouraging yourself that, do you know, even when things are not perfect, just say, Lord, help me. And as in simple word, but Lord, help me.
And just to finalize everything as well, it's just about, you know, as we spoke about contentment, gratefulness, but we didn't really focus on godliness. But godliness and contentment together is great gain. So no matter what you're going through, you need to remind yourself to always live a holy life. You know, don't just think about, okay, I've got my car now, let me show off and let everyone else see me. You know,
you're still gonna need him. Remember,
you need God every day. Even I need God every day. There are some things that I even do now that I may not know is hurting a friend, but because that friend hasn't informed me about what I'm doing, I'm still going to keep on doing it until you open up to people and tell them, okay, look, this is what you're doing that I don't like. You'll continue to feel like that person is showing off, but really God has given them a blessing for them to be happy about. Why? Because they have done the work of God and they deserve it. You know, you shouldn't feel like, okay, I'm not blessed because I don't have what she has, or, you know, I see that girl with that guy that I wanted. You know,
maybe he wasn't for
anybody.
you.
No, we can't. As much as we want to, we can't do that. We can't. We don't even know what tomorrow holds. Only God knows what tomorrow holds. So we need to always bear in mind that life is a gift, and to have life is much more greater than any materialistic thing in this world. I see every other materialistic thing as a bonus, because that one day when Jesus comes, he's not going to judge us based on our shoes or the amount of clothing we have or the car or the career, but really what have we done on earth to fulfill his calling and his destiny upon our lives.
Exactly. And you know, just to end as well, just to say that, you know, whatever you have, be grateful for, because somebody is looking to you, and somebody wants what you have. So really and truly, you have nothing to be envious over somebody else. Rather, be a blessing to people and be grateful for whatever it is that you have, and just cherish the people around you, and you know, be thankful for whether it's for life, whether it's for safety, whether it's even for the provision of having a good financial financial stability, to be able to provide for yourself, to be able to have the things that you want. And like I'll also say, even in having a lot, be able to give as well, because when you give, then your blessing will even come.
It will even increase.
It will increase. So guys, we just want to say thank you.
Thank you very much once again.
Esther is the founder of Women's Work Conference, so definitely I would say check out her blog. And for you guys to hear more about my videos and everything, do please subscribe, and stay blessed and stay faithful. God bless. Bye guys.
Bye.